The Suppressed Wish, a short story by Vahid Sajadafar. In one of the impoverished neighborhoods of the city of Save, a boy named Amir lived. Amir was the only child of a family struggling with numerous financial problems. His father, Abbas, was a foundry worker who left for the workshop early every morning, working tirelessly until sunset to cover the rent of their small home. Their house resembled a humble shack. Whenever it rained, the roof leaked, and the walls became damp. Amir's mother, Zara, was a kind and hard-working woman who, besides taking care of Amir, made homemade jams and sold them at the local market. She was doing everything she could to ease the heavy financial burden on her husband. Amir, at 12 years old, had a heart full of dreams that seemed never to come true. Every day, as he returned home from school, he dreamt of having a beautiful bicycle, new shoes, and even a new storybook. However, he knew well that the family's financial situation didn't allow him to voice even his smallest desire. One day, when Amir came back from school, he noticed his father looked more exhausted than ever. His hands were injured, and his face was full of wrinkles. His mother, too, was in the kitchen, her hands rough and calloused, preparing jam. Amir felt a heaviness in his heart and decided never to speak of his dreams, so as not to add to his parents' burdens. But his heart couldn't let go of these dreams. At night, before sleeping, he would look at the stars and speak to them in his heart, asking for their help to one day escape these harsh conditions and achieve his dreams. One day at school, his teacher noticed Amir writing something in his notebook. She approached him and asked what he was writing. Amir, embarrassed, said he was writing a story about a boy with big dreams. The teacher kindly took Amir's notebook and began to read. Amir's story was full of emotions and suppressed dreams. Tears welled up in the teacher's eyes as she read, and she decided to do something for Amir. A few days later, the teacher, along with her colleagues and some parents of the students, decided to prepare a surprise for Amir. They collected money and bought a beautiful bicycle and some storybooks for him. When these gifts were presented to Amir, he couldn't believe his dreams had come true. Tears filled his eyes, and with a trembling voice, he thanked everyone. These gifts not only brought joy to Amir's heart but also gave him the motivation to strive harder. He decided to study with all his might to one day help his family and escape these difficult conditions. But this isn't the end of the story, it's just the beginning of a path filled with challenges and obstacles that Amir must overcome to achieve his goals. He now had to face new problems that would come his way on the journey of life. With renewed enthusiasm and motivation, Amir paid more attention to his studies each day. He spent hours studying and practicing math and science problems. The teachers also paid more attention to his progress and tried to help him on the path to success. One day, his father, Abbas, came home with bad news. The foundry had closed down, and he had lost his job. This news struck the family like a hammer. Zara looked at Abbas with worry, and Amir, standing in a corner, felt his world collapsing. Abbas tried to find work in other workshops, but the city's economic conditions were so bad that finding a new job was very difficult. Amir witnessed his father's relentless efforts and wanted to help him somehow. Meanwhile, Amir decided to join his friends at the local market after school to work. He earned some money by selling newspapers and helping shopkeepers and gave it to his mother. Zara was initially opposed but had to accept after seeing Amir's persistence. Although working after school was tough and exhausting, Amir never gave up on studying. He knew that the only way out of this situation was through education and knowledge. The days passed with difficulty, but hope remained alive in Amir's heart, and he moved forward with all his might. One night, while Amir was sitting in his small, dark room studying, Zara came to his room. In a calm voice, she said, "Amir, you have always given us hope, and now we need to give you hope. We will give everything we have so you can succeed." With tears in his eyes, Amir promised that he would never give up. The future was still uncertain, but Amir was determined to move forward with all his strength and find a way to achieve his dreams. Years passed, and Amir reached high school. Despite all the financial hardships and pressures of life, he remained one of the top students at his school. His teachers and friends always spoke of his perseverance and determination. However, new challenges were on the way. One day, Zara suddenly fell ill. She experienced severe abdominal pain and had to go to the hospital. After an initial examination, the doctors determined that Zara needed immediate surgery. The treatment costs were very high, and Abbas had no way to pay for it. Amir, always looking for a way to help his family, decided to do whatever it took to raise the necessary money. He started working multiple jobs, from washing cars to distributing advertising flyers. Every night, he returned home exhausted, but his heart was full of hope that he could collect enough money for his mother's treatment. Friends and neighbors, seeing Amir's efforts, also stepped in to help, each contributing what they could. Despite all the difficulties, Abbas did everything he could to support his family. He eventually found temporary work, but they were still far from raising the required amount. One night, as Amir was studying in his small, dark room, his father entered, looking exhausted and heartbroken. Abbas looked at Amir and said, "Son, we've tried our best, but we still haven't managed to gather enough money for your mother's surgery." Feeling a deep sense of despair, Amir looked at his father and said, "Dad, we can't give up. I'm sure we'll find a way. We have to keep trying." The next day, Amir talked about the situation with his favorite former teacher, Mrs. Ahmadi. Always seeing Amir as an outstanding student, Mrs. Ahmadi decided to help him. She organized a fundraising event at the school and in the neighborhood, raising a significant amount of money for Zara's treatment. With these contributions and the relentless efforts of Amir and Abbas, Zara was finally able to undergo the necessary surgery. This event showed Amir and his family that with solidarity and effort, any challenge can be overcome. Now, Amir continued his studies with renewed hope and motivation. He knew the path ahead was still full of obstacles, but his heart was filled with faith in a brighter future. The tough days were not over yet, but Amir was ready to face any challenge that came his way. He continued to move towards his dreams, confident that one day he would achieve all of them. Amir reached his final year of high school and was preparing for the university entrance exam. Given his family's difficult circumstances, he was determined to achieve an excellent rank, secure a scholarship, and alleviate the burden on his family. He studied day and night, using every opportunity to review his lessons and solve practice problems. One day, while returning from the library, Amir ran into an old friend named Ali. Ali had been friends with Amir since childhood but had dropped out of school due to financial difficulties and gotten involved in illegal activities. Seeing Amir, Ali pulled him aside and said, "Amir, I've found a quicker way to make money. Come work with me, and we can get rich fast." Amir, who had always believed in the right path, looked at Ali with regret and said, "Ali, I can't live like that. We must strive in the right and honest way to achieve our goals. I hope you find the right path too." Ali shrugged with frustration and said, "You're still the same dreamer, Amir. But the world doesn't work that way." He walked away from Amir. Amir returned home, and seeing his mother, who had not yet fully recovered from her surgery, strengthened his resolve. He didn't want to give in to difficult circumstances or take the wrong path. Although Ali's offer was tempting, Amir knew that only through hard work and honesty could he achieve his dreams. A few months later, the entrance exam day arrived. Amir gave it his all, and with hope and prayer, he waited for the results. On the day the results were announced, Amir anxiously logged onto the results website, and upon seeing his rank, tears welled up in his eyes. He was among the top students. This success was a significant turning point not only for Amir but also for his family. Now Amir could proudly step towards a brighter future and bring new hope to his family. However, he knew this was just the beginning, and he still had many challenging paths to traverse to achieve his dreams.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.